Mr. Seguin's brave little goat. This is the famous story of Alphonse Daudet.
Mr. Seguin's brave little goat. Once upon a time, in the quiet hills of Provence in France, lived a kind old man named Mr. Seguin. He owned a small farm with a cozy cottage and a meadow full of green grass. But what Mr. Seguin loved most were his goats. One day, he brought home to his farm a young, pretty white goat named Blanquette. She was the prettiest little thing. Her coat was as soft as snow, and her eyes sparkled like stars. Mr. Seguin loved her dearly. He tied her to a post in his garden so she wouldn't run away. Blanquette and Mr. Seguin lived happily in their new home, with Blanquette rolling in the soft grass. Happily every day, Blanquette was happy. She ate the soft green grass with enthusiasm. She rolled herself in the green grass of he meadow. She jumped about within the constraints of the rope that tied her to the post. Mr. Seguin was happy to see his goat happy in his yard. He prayed that this goat will stay with him forever. He watched the goat every day and night to make sure that she was happy. He would often go to the goat and talk to her as if she was a human being. Finally, he said to himself, "At last, I have found the perfect goat. She will go nowhere. She will be me forever." But after a few months, Blanquette was curious. Every day, she looked up at the wild mountains beyond the fence. The wind whispered stories to her, stories of freedom, of wild flowers, of dancing on rocky cliffs with no rope to hold her back. Mr. looked at her with concern. Seguin sat beside the goat and started shaking his head as he scolded her gently. "Don't even think about it," said Mr. Seguin. He did not want to think about what had happened to his other goats. His soft blue eyes became sad just thinking about the sorrowful stories of his other goats. Wearing his faded cotton shirt, patched trousers, and sturdy boots caked with dry earth, he remembered, "All my other goats who ran off to the mountain, they never came back. The wolf always got them." Blanquette lowered her head, but her heart was already climbing. The goat Blanquette started to pine away. She would lie down and refuse to eat. For days on end, Blanquette refused to eat. The soft grass tasted like paper in her mouth. She lay down agony as if she just wanted to die. She would not eat nor drink. She was miserable. Mr. Seguin, standing by the side of the goat, watched her and became miserable looking at his goat dying by refusing to eat. Mr. Seguin did not know what to do. He walked away from the barn as a very sad and troubled man. He watched the mountains in the distance with agony. He imagined the packs of wolves in the mountain. He himself became miserable. He couldn't eat. He could not sleep, but he said to himself, leaving the goat to go away into the mountains was certain death. He talked to her seriously, warning her of the dangers in the mountains. But the goat did not move. It looked at Mr. Seguin quietly. He watched as the goat became weak and cried with sadness. Ba, ba, in his torment and agony. Mr. Seguin forgot to close the window to the barn. Mr. Seguin walked away, a sad man, and night fell with the window to the barn wide open. He walks away a sad man, forgetting to close the window barn. That night, when the stars were shining and Mr. Seguin was asleep, Blanquette untied the rope and tiptoed away. She ran to the mountains up, higher than she had ever gone before. When Blanquette the goat arrived there, she started leaping through fields of wildflowers. Drinking from streams, she was finally free. She spreads herself out on the soft moss, which feels velvety. She danced through wild grass, leapt over rocks, and tasted flowers the color of fire. The world was wide. The air was pure. She had never felt so alive. Blanquette met other chamois and antelopes in the forest, including wild goats and deer. She even saw a troop of wild goats and deer passing by. They are also eating the soft leaves. Blanquette looks at them longingly. You are lucky to be living here all of your lives. No rope, no tether, no post. Free to go about everywhere every time. Blanquette jumps about and makes a goat dance. Dusk falling. Long shadows creeping in the forest. The forest is starting to become dark, but there is the moonlight. But the sun began to set. The sky turned gold, then purple, then black. And somewhere in the woods, a wolf howled. Mr. Seguin, realizing since the morning that Blanquette was gone, became very sad. As evening approached, he blew into a horn to call Blanquette. He kept blowing and blowing the horn, hoping that Blanquette hears the call. Yes, Blanquette hears. She stops, stands still, and listens for some time. Then she shakes her head and starts to eat again. Blanquette moved to stand bravely on a cliff, with the wind blowing as she listened to the call. Then, she also heard a wolf howl. It shivered a bit, but stood strong. She kept on eating the soft grass. She could have run. She could have hidden. But she stood tall. She was just a small goat, but in that moment, she was more than that. She was courage. She was freedom. And she would not go down without a fight. Then, out of the darkness, the wolf appeared. It was a big, bad wolf with teeth like gigantic razor blades. The wolf stood in front of Blanquette. It looked at the goat and licked its lips. It even put a smirk on its face. Then the wolf attacked the goat. Blanquette pushed it back. Blanquette then attacked and dodged like a boxer. It gave headbutts. It went back and forth, back, and kept rushing forward at the wolf. It looked like Blanquette was going to win sometimes. The wolf had to retreat, then attack again. The fight went on for the whole night. Silhouettes of the goat and wolf danced in the moonlight. All night, they battled the little goat and the big, hungry wolf. The trees swayed. The stars watched in silence. It was the bravest fight the mountain had ever seen. Last night faded to morning, with light over the quiet mountains. When morning came, the mountain was quiet, but Blanquette was gone. Bits and pieces of her white fur appeared on the tiny leaves here and there. But her spirit, wild and fearless, still danced in the wind. Mr. Seguin woke up and walked to the shed. He looked to the mountains, holding the bell of Blanquette, the small goat. He had tears in his eyes, as if he was weeping. But deep inside him, he felt something strange. He was proud of Blanquette. His eyes are soft and blue, had witnessed this tragedy before. In the yard, on the soft grass, he found the little bell that Blanquette wore. He wept, but not with regret. Because Blanquette had lived, truly lived. Not in fear, not in a cage, but free, brave, and beautiful. Sometimes, the price of freedom is high, but a life without it may not be life at all. If you love this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more timeless tales.